Let's interrupt this belief. It isn't relevant. Hasn't been relevant for 49 years. Will never be relevant again for the rest of your life. Many years ago, so I'm pleased about it with my mum. She's got so much pain, she can't actually walk properly. Her feet are causing her pain, her back, her hips, her knees. And I happened to be in Santorini at the time, and this person was there, and it was his mother. And I went to his house, and we did a session. And the first thing she went back to was she was telling me that she had been born, but it was a story she was told that her mother, who was Indian, it was her 4th pregnancy, and they delivered a baby, and they were just sewing her up, and there was another baby in there. So they got that baby out, and it was a 5th girl, and the doctor said, "I'm so sorry. You must be devastated. Your poor husband, 5 girls, how is he going to cope with that humiliation?" And the doctor said, "But actually this 5th girl is very pretty, and if you don't want her, I'll take her. She's rather endearing. I'll have her." The woman said, "No, I'll have all my children." But they would always say, "We didn't even know you were in there, and the doctor wanted you, and if you're naughty, we're going to give you to the doctor. We should have given you to that doctor because you're naughty." So she always had this memory that she was not meant to be. She was a huge disappointment. She should have been a boy. Scene 2, we went back to, she's reading her sister's diary. Remember, they're twins. The sister was the first baby, she was the second. And the sister's written that she's in love with this boy, but he's told her he's in love with her sister, and he's never going to be in love with her because he loves her sister. And she said, "When I read that, I took a bit of glass and I cut my face from here to here to make myself ugly because I felt so bad that the boy my sister loved me." That was scene 2. And I'm going to ask you a question about these scenes, so really notice what I'm talking about. Scene 3, I'm a teacher, and my husband's a teacher. This is in India, remember? And my husband's come early to meet me, and a man is talking to me. My husband was so upset and so jealous I was talking to a male teacher that he made a massive scene, and he got fired, but I didn't. And I thought that was my fault. So look at those 3 scenes. A baby's just been born, and it's hugely disappointing. She's the 5th girl. The boy her sister loves her, so she cuts her face. And the 3rd scene, the husband gets fired because he's so jealous because she's so beautiful. How could that link? So these are the scenes in the left hand. Here's the right hand today. She's got all kinds of pain, every kind of pain you can imagine. Can any of you link that together? Punishing herself. Go on. Anyone else? Sorry? Yeah. Anyone else? Close. Go on. She causes people pain. That was what I said. I said, okay, so let's look at the scenes in your left hand. That little baby caused pain and embarrassment. The boy her sister loved her. She caused her sister pain. Her beauty made her husband so enraged that he got fired. So she causes people pain, and now she's in pain. She went, "That's not it. That's not it at all." I went, "Okay, well, that's all right. Why don't you do it then?" So I said, I explained it all again, and she went, "Oh, I've got it now. I think I need to be in pain because I've caused people pain." I went, "That's amazing." So intuitive. Wow, you really... I didn't go, I just told you that because that's not my job. I said, "Gosh, that's really... how astute of you to come to that." I came to that conclusion. Nevertheless, I said, "That's very astute." And she taught me something, that it's very important that the client gets it. Because if you tell them, they go, "No." Or they go home and say, "Guess what my therapist said?" They go, "Oh, that's rubbish. She doesn't know you at all." But when they work it out, they go, "Wow. No, I worked it out, and it's absolutely right." So she taught me something amazing. But then she called me and said, "I'm in a museum. And it's amazing because I'm in no pain. I'm not in any pain. All the pain has gone." Because, of course, after we did the interpreting, left hand, right hand, you feel that you caused everybody pain, and so you must feel pain. If you're causing people pain, you have to feel pain. And that's why you cut your face. Because, yes, I know that. I knew that. She didn't know that at all, but it doesn't matter. She now does know it, and she feels like she's always known it. So now we've got it, but the next I is to be a massive interrupter. interrupt the belief. Your father may have wanted a fifth baby that was a son, but you were meant to be a girl. Someone bigger than your father said, you're going to be here, you're going to be beautiful, and you're here for a reason. And it's really important to interrupt the belief. So here's a client come in, he's morbidly obese, sits in the car eating candy, and has told me that his daughter said, Daddy, when you come to pick me up, you'll never get out of the car. You must never get, if my friends see how fat you are, I'll die. So don't ever get out of the car when you pick me up from school or a party. You stay in the car so they can only see your head. You mustn't get out. And he said even that couldn't stop it. But now he's sitting in the car eating bags of candy, crying because of how upset his daughters are. So his scenes, and we'll see what you work out with this one. First scene. I'm a newborn baby, I'm premature. I'm in the cot, and they've got all the wires in this cot and alarms. And when I vomit, it's like a bedwetting thing. Alarms go off, and my mum and dad run into the bedroom and start feeding me. And my mum is hysterical, going, he's going to die if he can't keep this food down. That's scene one. But a very stressful scene. He's a small baby, he's coming from hospital, and they're very strict. If this baby doesn't gain weight, he's going to go back into an incubator. So they're feeding him constantly. And every time he doesn't take in enough milk, or from the mother screams and cries and is hysterical, and the father's really frantic, he's got to get more food down or he'll die. A very powerful scene, by the way, for someone who can't stop eating. Scene two, a very similar scene. The mother's now, he's a bit older, and she's begging him to eat more. You must eat more, because we don't want you to have to go and live in the hospital. You've got to eat more. Please eat more. The third scene, he's eating more, and they now call him the jumbo jet. Mummy's at because he's getting so big, and they're so thrilled, and they're praising him. What a good boy. You're a good baby. You're eating so much, and now you're a little jumbo jet, and you're big, and it's all lovely. So these are the three scenes. And now we have someone today who can't stop eating. So that's kind of easy, really. But anyone want to tell me what that is? We've gone back to being the interpreter for a minute. What would you make of those three scenes? And how would that lead him to compulsively eat? He pleases his mother when he eats. And remember, a baby's needs on the planet: find connection, avoid rejection. When I eat, I'm connected. When I don't eat, my mum is hysterical, and I really upset her. I need to connect to this woman, and she isn't rejecting me, but if I don't feed, I'm not connected. Another one. If I don't eat, I'll die. Very true. You're both absolutely correct. I will die if I don't eat, because that was his truth when he weighed 2 pounds. Other clients said, I was fed through a dropper of a pen. My mum got an ink pen and she dropped it in because I was so tiny, like a little bird. Yes, and now we're going to be the interrupter. You would have died at 2 pounds, but now you're going to die because you're 500 pounds. You're not going to die from not eating, but you're going to die from eating. So let's interrupt this belief. It isn't relevant. Hasn't been relevant for 49 years. Will never be relevant again for the rest of your life. This belongs to a baby, a dependent child who is dependent on pleasing his parents. But you haven't been that child. For years, you'll never, well, maybe when you're 102 in a hospital in diapers, you might have a second chance at being a baby, but not for many, many, many years. And right now, the belief that you'll die if you don't eat is actually going to kill you, because you're eating so much. So you interrupt, you present all kinds of different outcomes. It's not me as the interrupter. It's not me because. It cannot be me. Ever justify that. Tell me why that's not you. And you saw that with Jackie, how so she did that. Well, of course it's not me. I'm a better mum. I'm a great mum. My own child said, Mum, everything I am is because you're an outstanding parent. So you interrupt the belief, but the client must do it. Check out my next video here.